Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of Scream City? Never mind. I think I found it.
Hello, horror freaks. Welcome back to Scream City. I'm your host, Monica.
And I'm Jess, and today we will be discussing the new movie, The Exorcist Believer.
I know we said this about the Saw theme song, but like, would you also throw ass to this?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, okay, I thought so, and
Jaws
I just
too.
Oh, the Jaws.
It's getting thrown.
I don't. Yeah.
Halloween thrown.
Absolutely, and I've realized that there's something very eerie about a piano theme song for a horror, like I guess
It's just like I feel like it's just like synth music.
Yeah,
I think, in general.
yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. I enjoy it. But either way, before we jump right into the movie, do you want to get any jump scares out of the way for this week?
I want to say there were some jump scares this past week, but I can't remember them. So let's just get on to the good thing, which was I went to a concert last night.
Oh yeah,
and
Don Broco.
oh my god, I literally cried.
I saw how close you were.
I was literally barricaded.
Front row,
Like it was amazing.
That's so fun.
It was so much fun. I love them so much. It's always such a fun time seeing them live. They're my all-time, I think, favorite band right now.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I've seen them every time they come to Dallas. I saw them last time at So What. And it's just awesome. They're my favorite band, and I love their music.
That's
so
really cool.
it was super fun.
We
Yeah.
love that.
But yeah, that's me. What about you?
I don't think I have anything bad nor good yet to like kind of it's only been a week. I think the only jump scare was all that fucking food I ate at the fair.
Oh, I forgot about
And let me tell you something. And all that money. Yeah.
No,
it
that
went
jump
down the
scare.
drain. Yeah, just a little bit.
Jump scare was my bank account after the fair because
everything's
she
gone
was
now.
Struggling.
Absolutely. She was struggling to breathe. She needed a little CPR.
She did.
She's
A
going to
little
get
epi.
revived this
Yeah.
Friday when I get paid. So it's
Right.
okay. But yeah, that was the only thing. But nonetheless, we still had fun.
Well, finally getting into this movie. If you haven't had the chance to watch this movie, just know that there will be spoilers. So don't say that we didn't warn you. But to give a quick synopsis, this is a sequel to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who is possessed by mysterious demonic entity forcing her wait. No?
Are you?
Oh. It literally just says this is a sequel to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old
girl.
But the actual, I mean, yes, you can say it is a sequel, and like it is.
But it's like so many years ahead that maybe this should.
But the actual, what's it called?
Did you find it? I have it on here.
Oh, you have it? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and say it.
Okay, well, it's actually, so when two girls disappear into the woods and return 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them, the father of one of the girls seeks out Chris McNeil, who's been forever altered by what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. God,
Crazy.
damn, 50 years ago?
That's old.
That is old.
Respect.
But with that being out of the way, Jess, why don't you start us off by telling us your top three for this movie? So your favorite scene, your first impression, and your favorite kill.
So first impression, I think I watched this last Thursday. So
It's been
almost about a week. Yeah. My first impression, I feel like I could go on about my first impression.
Yeah, same.
Okay, what I'm about to say, I'm going to say it.
Bear with me.
I was very hopeful going into this movie because I love, y'all know me, I love me a good demonic possession
yeah.
paranormal movie. Sure enough, this movie was spooky. And like I thought correctly, in the last episode, I said that I was confident that there was going to be at least one or two scares that were going to get to me. And I think it's just like hard to miss those.
Yeah.
In any horror movie. I feel
especially with possession. Because like
Yeah.
at some point, you get some type of
Yeah.
spook.
First impression, overall, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And I feel like I say that about every movie. I swear I will find a movie that I hate at one
Right.
point.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall, I mean, I have a few complaints, but I'll get to them while we discuss the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good watch.
For the most part.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Scary skeletons.
Scary.
Send shivers down your spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me. My favorite scene, the whole exorcism scene, was just insane to me.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that usually for these types of movies where there's like a lot going on all at once, which I won't mention the movie that I always say, I feel
I
really,
think we can all guess.
yeah, I feel really tense, during those scenes, but I actually didn't feel very tense during this scene. And I think it was more of like, I was just waiting to see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But again, like the whole exorcism scene, which is a pretty long scene, is just, I think, very iconic for this movie.
Yeah, same.
My favorite scare, after Catherine's dumbass father says, "I choose you, Catherine." And then we see Catherine and what looks like to me the further, which that's what I'll call it for the rest of the movie. I mean, for the rest of the episode. So yeah, when he's like, "I choose you, Catherine," then we see her down there. And then the demon, I actually don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was the demon. If the demon says, "I choose you, Catherine," in like his scary voice, or if he says, "He chose you, Catherine." But all I know is that he said something like that.
Yeah.
But then the demon just drags her down to hell.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like
That
so
one was a
sad,
good
but it was
one.
also like scary.
Yeah.
It was actually scary because for some reason, just that scene of seeing Catherine down there in the further, wherever she is.
Yeah.
It was just creepy.
Okay. I like. Okay, listen.
Okay.
So I actually really like this movie. So before I had went to go see the movie, I saw it Sunday, and it's almost as if my For You page on TikTok knew that I was about to go see this movie. Either that, because it had just literally just come out. But either way, almost every video that kept popping up, every other video was just like a review of this movie. And even Rotten Tomatoes kind of tore this movie to shreds.
100%.
And even 3C Films. And I normally agree with his reviews. A lot of the movies that he says that he normally likes, I end up liking too. And for him, he says that it felt flat for him, which, I don't know, it kind of disappointed me, but then I was like, oh, whatever. So I was a bit surprised when I actually watched the movie, and I now have had a few days to actually like sit with it and marinate it a little bit in me. And I'm going to go back to what I always say, and what I kept saying is that I didn't want to have any expectations for this movie, for this reason. So everyone like was very excited that this was a sequel, and everyone was like very excited based off of the trailer alone. And this is why we don't trust trailers,
Right.
Because and then you get your hopes let down, and then you get left with like, what? Like, that wasn't what I expected it to be. And then it's like, well, that's what happens when you rely too much on your emotions for the trailer.
I don't know if I read it somewhere or if someone actually told me, but I think whatever it is that I read or heard said that the trailer was scarier than
the actual movie.
Yeah.
And this is why I've now become like an anti-trailer person.
That's
like, I
my
don't
sister.
want to,
Yeah.
I now completely understand
Yeah.
it, because I'm like, and then especially, so something that I heard a lot of these reviews say was that the movie started off really good, because it started off as like more of a thriller and like a hunt for these girls, and like trying to like parents trying to find their daughters who probably were kidnapped and were probably like, done something. And it was more like I don't know, of course you've seen it. So like Prisoners, they said that it was kind of giving that type of like feel.
Yeah.
And then
see
they were like,
that.
and it started off so well, and they're like, but in the events, or like in the elements where it was supposed to actually be horror, it fell flat for them. And a lot of people were saying that they were like unintentionally doing it, but they were comparing this to the original so much and seeing what they can get out of it. And I think that's where people were making a mistake.
I was going to say I could never, and it's not that I didn't watch this as a standalone
Mm-hmm.
because I did have the OG Exorcist in my mind, in the back of my mind throughout the whole movie, but I didn't necessarily compare at all. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
same.
we're what, like 50 now
Yeah, well, we're
years.
50 plus years now later.
It's 50 years later. Obviously, there's going to be different everything. Like, I never thought to even compare the two movies,
Mm-hmm.
in any sort of way.
I think that I didn't either. I went into this thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna think of this as like it's going to have some connections and maybe some like little Easter eggs to the
Mhm.
original. But I went into this kind of thinking like this is its own movie because we're now like in a completely different time, in a completely different storyline. And so I was left with like I left the theater pretty satisfied, like as someone who like went into this thinking like I want to have a good time, and so I'm going to try my best to not like think about it too much, because then if I did, then I think I would have the same review. But again, and this is also another reason why I hate like TikTok for reviews in general, because I really do think that the same people who thought that this movie was like complete ass are the same people who thought like Skinamarink was like the best movie ever fucking
Bro,
invented. And I'm
I
like, Skinamarink is
if
literally filmed on an iPhone.
if
It was
if I have
awful.
learned anything in these past couple of years is I fuck with TikTok. I do. I will be on TikTok for 12 plus hours. I
Oh,
do not
same.
care.
Same.
But never, ever will I ever trust any sort of review.
No, none.
Movie, book,
Oh, same.
clothing, makeup.
Nothing.
Fuck all of that. I am never
No.
trusting TikTok.
Because
I am
those
a
are
YouTube
same.
review girly.
Yeah, same. I like to go on YouTube
Yeah.
sometimes, like after I've watched movies
Mhm.
and kind of see like what people think about it, and then just kind of see if my mood changes or not. But yeah, and so that's also another reason why I was like, okay, if TikTok hates it, that means I might actually like it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where like I've based off of like my kind of where I am with movies now. Now, with saying that, even though I left satisfied and like how much I liked it, there were some things that I did not like, and I will get into that a
Yeah.
little bit later. That once we kind of dissect the movie a little bit more. But overall, I had a good experience. It was a good movie for me. Both me and Mateo, we were both like, we went into this movie like, well, everybody keeps saying that it's really bad, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a fucking
Like, how
20%.
bad can this movie be?
Yeah, and
you
I'm
know?
like, Rotten Tomatoes sometimes gets it wrong. And we went in there, and then once we left, we were like, I actually liked it. He's like, I liked
I'm
it
like,
too,
surely it can't be worse than Skinamarink.
bro. And surely it can't be fucking worse than Halloween Kills. And so I was
Bro.
like, there's no way, because as soon as I found out that this man put this movie, this beloved franchise in his hands, I was like, God, please listen to me. I know this is a demon movie, but listen to me. I hope that this man does not demolish the goodness of the of just what this has the
Just like
like
the
capability to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please don't ruin it. But anyway, moving on to my favorite scene, y'all, the body and the blood. The body and the blood. I loved that scene so much, and here's why. It is burned into my brain. I walked out of the theater chanting it all the way home, and then I also was chanting it all over like the fair. It's
She
just so
was.
good. It's so good. The body and the blood. The body and the blood. It's so good. One, because the little girl who was walking down like the aisle, basically, of like the church, was I feel, as someone who's seen the original, reminds me of the scene where Reagan goes downstairs during the party scene and she pisses
Yeah.
on the floor, and she tells like the people at the party, like the guests, and she's like, you're all gonna die tonight. And then she pees. It's kind of giving that, because and then she's like in the middle of like this crowd, and this crowd is like, who the fuck is this? And why does she look like that? And then I also liked how when she was walking down the aisle chanting the body and the blood, the priest was like shitting his pants. That man was shitting bricks.
Hands.
And that shit was so funny, because he did
Yeah.
not once take a breath to stop what he was like. What is it? What is it when they speak?
Preach?
When they preach?
Yeah.
Yes, like he did not stop to preach whatever it is that he was preaching. Because he said, that right there, I know that right there is not holy. And she said, the body and the blood, the body and the blood, and it was just so good. So I loved it. I love that scene overall, and like how it was like the cinematic kind of piece of it. It was really good. My favorite scare, I thought we were going to choose kills, and so I was going to say, we didn't really get that many, but if we had to choose one, I was going to say the priest. I like the way he dies. I like the way that they both kind of killed him
together.
They worked together to kill him, which
kill
I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna talk about scares, I'll talk about the one jump scare that really got me, and that was when we see Angela in the small like room that has like the glass window, and the camera was like panning down to kind of see like, oh, she's under the bed, but she wasn't, and then right before they could go more, like she pops up out of the window.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, like it's kind of a given, like with the slow panning and like the very silent like noise of like nothing going on, so it's like it's expected, but it got me and I appreciated it. But I think overall these girls did really good, and they were very, very scary.
Rent was due.
Rent was due, and they don't even have rent. So good for them.
Good for them.
They paid their mama's
parents' rent.
They paid their mama's mortgage. Yes, ma'am. I don't want to go to hell. Too bad she did. And did.
She showed and
she
did.
And it was satisfying. I'm sorry. And like, R.I.P.
It was satisfying on the dad's.
Yes.
To me, to watch on the dad's end, but it was truly like I was like plot twist.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
And like Mateo too, he was like, I knew it. He's like, I knew that the minute that they mentioned that they had to choose who lives and who dies, he's like, I knew they were going to try and do like a, like, oh, I tricked you. I'm like gonna kill this one and I'm gonna let this one live and yada yada.
This time it wasn't God who played a trick on you. It was Satan.
It was Satan.
Satanás.
Okay. So, ¿a dónde vamos?
Al infierno.
Oh, I love it. It's so great. Okay. And that's where she went. So the things that I did not like about this movie, I will go ahead and just mention. So something that I did agree with some of the reviews is, why did you bring back Chris McNeil just to gouge her eyes out?
Period.
The disrespect.
Period.
And that's like, no, I don't want you to kill her.
That pissed me off.
It really did, because I was like, you're going to, I don't know. I just feel like her purpose in this movie shouldn't have been that.
But like, 1000% I agree. I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like there is some sort of symbolism between her getting her eyes gouged out and some sort of like Christianity, like allegory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like if we go back to The Nun 2, which I know we haven't discussed it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we haven't.
Okay. If we go back to The Nun 2, spoiler alert, the eyes are also
very important to her, because they're very like, it's like a like purity.
Sure. Maybe? Yeah.
Something.
I'm not very educated on religion.
Me either.
So, but yeah, no, I feel like in a way the fact that she had her eyes gouged out, number one, by a cross, was some sort of allegory, or I don't even know, like symbolism for something. Yeah. That was just my little hot take on that.
No, I agree. I actually didn't think about that. I didn't really try to connect the two, so that's actually that's good insight. I didn't think about that. But either way, I just felt like the trailer again set up the expectation for people to see Chris McNeil a lot more in the movie.
Yes.
And then like even me, I was really disappointed to see that you just brought her back so you can like fuck her up.
Yeah.
And like not in a cool way. So I didn't like that. I also did not like, so I didn't like how we had the opportunity of two girls both being possessed. So we had the storyline of having two girls being possessed by the same demon.
2 girls, 1 demon.
2 girls, 1 demon, as my sister says. But we only focus on one family. And we really only focus on just the one girl. Now.
Wait, which girl are you talking about?
Angela?
Okay.
Yeah, because we see a lot of her past and her family and her like.
Okay, now that we're in like talking about this, I was also literally, it's right here on my notes, where I said, I found it interesting. What I found interesting is that the story starts off focusing on Angela's story. And sure enough, we do focus on Angela's story more than Catherine's. But what I found a little weird was that most of the marketing was literally Catherine.
That's true.
Like all the, like the
like
billboards.
If you, the billboards. And if you look at like the post. Yeah. Because
I
I do think because she had some of the, she had, like, if you had to choose between both of them, and Catherine had the more, like, disturbing and actually horrific scenes,
true.
but Angela, and
But
then,
Angela's past is explained more.
yes,
Is kind of touched on more than
yes,
Catherine. Catherine,
yes,
we know nothing about her
nope, nothing.
besides, I mean, we just know her present and her future.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And the fact that she was supposed to be baptized like 2 weeks ago, you know.
Yeah, and something that I like also added on to here, but what I did appreciate was between the two is that we had we like between both girls and both families, the black family was the main character, which is something that is actually appreciated because we can just kind of see that we're kind of moving forward with those things, and it's another win for the minorities because it's a whole thing, but I'm glad that between the two we got to win. But anyway, yes, I do agree that a lot of the marketing was for Catherine
Yeah.
because if you were really paying attention, a lot of the scenes that actually made the trailer and that actually made the movie pretty like
The trailer
unsettling.
made me think that we were going to follow Catherine's story a little bit more.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought we were going to see a little bit more of like her side of her life and a little bit more like we saw literally nothing of hers. We barely got to see the inside of her house
Yeah.
until she was already possessed.
Right.
And I think I don't know, it's just I feel like that's maybe what fell flat for me is that I feel like again we had the opportunity to possess both girls, but you're only focusing on one side of the family. So it's kind of like you kind of had the chance of having double the scare and double the like emotion tug choosing between both girls because like if I would have known a little bit more of Catherine and her side of the story, I probably would have felt a little bit worse of her dying at the end instead of Angela. But because Angela is like the main character and so is her dad and like the whole thing that we get at the beginning, I'm kind of like, well, it's kind of expected.
I think, and this I could be right. I also could be wrong. But I think the reason why we follow Angela's story more, and again, it could have been the same for Catherine's, but honestly, actually, now that we think about it, Catherine's family's very religious.
Yes.
But the beginning of the movie, we see Angela's parents, Angela's mom is in very critical condition, and the doctors say, choose.
Yeah, you have to choose one.
Choose one.
Oh my gosh.
One lives, one dies.
Yes.
And the dad, chose the mom. And that's when the whole iconic God played a trick on you thing happened, right?
And I actually really like that. I like that scene where she was like giving it to her dad and she's like, you chose. Like, what did she say?
You
Like,
didn't want
you didn't
me.
want me. And I was like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? I was like, oh.
I was like, period.
I was like, but best believe if I was in that situation, you better choose me too. Because if you didn't, I'm coming back. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Okay, I want to know your opinion on this.
Okay.
Knowing your...
I have opinions.
Yeah. Okay. So what I thought was funny is my sister, who I think considers herself a Catholic person, at the end of the movie goes, I feel like this movie turned very Christian at the end.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think about that?
I will say, in this movie, there is a lot more talk, and it's a lot more heavy on religion talk and like
to me, it
Christianity.
felt heavier. To me, it felt like a Christian movie. It felt more like a Christian movie than The Nun.
Yes. Well, I mean, The Nun is more Catholic.
Yeah, but like in general, like because Catholicism is also involved in this movie. But
yeah.
overall, just like a religious.
Yeah, because
movie.
there's and like I think the whole point was like all of these religions, like the way that Anne says later on in the movie is that like, or no, is it Anne who says it? I think it's Anne who says it, where they're basically like all of these religions have something in common, and that's people, and that's like what brings these people together, and like what community and like this whole thing. So it's like, how about instead of these religions working against each other, how about we all get together in the same room and we all focus on the thing that matters the most, which is like saving the girls. And which I completely understand, but it still felt a little more like Christianity was like the main
Savior.
character. Yeah, and then I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, but, and here's my but. It didn't win.
It didn't.
I think this is also
Because
another thing because the dad did not want to believe. Like, well, because he wasn't a believer.
Mhm.
And I think this goes to show that like religion can't win.
Mhm.
And I love that.
No, but also if you think about it, Catherine's family, who is the religious one in the movie, didn't get the outcome that they wanted.
No, because and then thinking, I don't know. Okay, this is probably going to open up a lot more big of a conversation, but like basically my thing is like you can be religious all you want, but as long as you don't, if you don't, I don't know how to put this into words, and I'm feeling a lot in here and in here, but I don't know how to like put it out there. But basically, like they were on their high horse the entire time in the
Right.
entire movie, thinking like, oh, like it's this,
If we would
that.
have baptized her,
Yes, like they were
sooner.
she was so like hung up on
Yeah.
being the good and best Christian that she
Yeah.
can be, and like this and this and that, and then I'm kind of like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? But also, and this is another reason why I don't like that we did not get to see who Catherine was as a girl and like what her side, because from what it looked like, she was the one that was asking Angela to go with her into the woods, and it looked like she wanted to talk to spirits, and it looked like she wanted to be the one to like reach out, and like she had crystals with her, and she had like this whole thing that I think if her Christian family found out that she was doing this, that they would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because even her dad, remember Angela's dad at the kind of in the beginning, once the girls were missing and they went up to the school, and then the dad was like, well, what else do you not know about Angela? Or what else do you not know about Catherine? Or something like that. Because it's like, obviously, and then they got all mad at him being like, no, our girl would never do this or do that. And it's like,
They always say that.
yeah,
They
exactly.
always say that.
Exactly. And then so I'm just kind of like, I wanted to know that if she even herself believed that she was Christian or if she wanted to explore something different. But I don't know. It's like this whole thing. And I do feel that this movie was a little too heavy on like the religion side of things. Cause I'm like, or even the original Exorcist wasn't.
You know, I was going to say, yeah, no, the original Exorcist didn't feel like a Christian movie to me. I have watched Christian movies. And this
I've watched
one,
Passion of the Christ. Does that count?
and this one felt like I was watching a Christian movie.
Yes.
With like horror.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But,
Like something in it.
but weaning off towards like a.
Yes, but I do kind of, I guess, agree with what like your sister says. Is like I feel like I turned very Christian after
literally
watching this. I was like,
turned into a Christian to me personally. Oh, but
if anything, I came out of the theater chanting the body and the blood. So I think if anything,
the body.
I took the demon home
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, weaning off towards like that topic. A scene that I liked, I didn't necessarily enjoy, but here's the reason why, is the physical exam scene after they're found.
Yeah.
It was a good scene. I have nothing against it. It was just so uncomfortable and it made me so sad.
Well,
and I know. I know.
Then why are you?
But like, I
up?
just want to say it. Like, it was a good scene. It was just sad to me. It's just.
Well, I
very
mean,
sad.
yeah, of course. I think it's one of those things, like, again, and I think this is where people are getting to that they're like, the very beginning of this, like the first part of this movie is very good because it doesn't feel like horror. It just really feels like a very
genuine
dramatized
family, like
losing their
looking for
children
their
and
children,
then
yeah.
finally finding them, and then like, you know, whatever the whole thing is. I do like the scene, which we do get the scene in like a trailer, but I just feel like it's a lot more like dramatized in the movie because everything is like pin silent. Is when Angela and her father and the cop are in the room, and then she's like, tell your dad what you told me. She's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And then she's like, tell your dad how long you think you've been gone. And she's like, I don't know, like a few hours. And he's like, and when I tell you that very minimal pause that we get before he speaks is so loud, and it's so like, it's so sad because you can see, this is where good acting just comes into play, but you can see like the worry in his eyes more specifically because his face completely drops, and he's like, baby, you've been gone for 3 days. I was like, ah. And it's like, I knew that, but it's like, oh my God, that's so sad.
The scene where they're back home and he's brushing his teeth And Angela keeps like turning the lights back and on
I
and
was
off.
like, what is this bitch doing?
All of the in the movie theater was so funny because I
Oh
was
my
one of
God.
them. But it was so funny to me because obviously from what we saw in the trailer, we kind of knew like what was gonna happen, but it was the anticipation
Yes.
of
Of
like,
just, like-
when is it gonna happen?
Because when I
It was
tell you
so
that
funny.
even himself, he went in and was like turning them on and off. He was
Yeah.
like, "Is that?"
Is
Okay.
it
He's
me?
like, "No, it's
Am
just
I going
it's-"
crazy?
He's like, "No, it's just my daughter being a little
Yeah.
spooked out." And then yeah, like it's really crazy. One more scene that I would like to discuss before we kind of move on is the full scene where where Chris McNeil enters Catherine's home and everything is like demolished and she finally comes face to face with the actual demon. Again, we get this scene in the trailer, which I hate because I think this would have been a really, really good scene
To keep gatekeep.
to gatekeep and not put in a trailer because I really do think I think it's important. And I think I definitely could have gone without gouging her eyes out, which I still hate. But I think it's a really good scene. And she basically comes into contact with the same demon, I'm assuming, that possessed Reagan. And I think even from what it sounds like, it's the same demon because the audio we're about to play actually before we start announcing the cast, it literally says, "Are you looking for Reagan? Well, she's burning in hell, or she burns in hell,
Yeah.
or something like that." And I think it's so good. But if you listen to the voice, if you listen to the voice alone, and then if you kind of compare it to the original, they sound very much alike.
I loved two more things before we get into the cast. I loved where Catherine kind of mocks. I honestly don't know if it's her own voice or if it's just like a voiceover of Reagan's actual voice from the OG movie.
Yes.
Where
Mother.
she's like, "Mother."
Yes.
Yeah, like, "Mother."
Oh, it's so
I love
scary.
it.
I do too.
I
Because she's
also,
like
anytime
thrashing on the bed.
Anytime I hear the word mother, I think of this movie, and I also think of Nightmare on Elm Street because I forgot her
Yes.
name, but she also says mother like that.
Yes, very much like scared and
yeah.
like that is a really good one. I also kind of picked up on that because again, this is such a good scene and I really, really hate that they put it in the trailer because I really do think that if they didn't, this movie would get a little bit more points. But it's so good how she's like talking to literally Chris McNeil and then we get like her thrashing on the bed. I also loved, first of all, like how she enters the room and she's looking hella studious reading the Bible. She's like, I gotta read up on my enemies. I gotta read up on what this man doing and I have to
I gotta know his moves.
Exactly. I gotta be one step ahead and I can't do that if I
100%.
don't know. And I really enjoyed that. And she looked hella studious and then she started eating it. And I said, you know what? Period. Because
I would too.
Because be the book, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like in order to consume all the knowledge,
Right.
you gotta literally eat it.
Yeah.
So good for her. And then yes, I also liked when she was like thrashing on the bed and she's like, "Mother, make it stop. It hurts." I was like, "Ah."
The last thing I wanted to mention is I loved, which I was not expecting, and I did not look this up prior because I wanted it to be a surprise. I love seeing Linda Blair.
Me too.
It made me so happy, and I don't care if it was for 2 seconds.
Literally
It
2
made me
seconds, but it
happy.
was really sweet.
Yeah.
I actually really liked that too. I probably shed a tear. I don't really know, but it was really sweet. I like again, like we don't get enough of like Chris McNeil in this movie, and I really hate that they like pretty much baited her in the trailer, but that we get like her talking to Angela's dad and basically saying like, I don't know where Reagan is. Don't ask me. She was really mad at me. She basically said without saying like she's probably dead and I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
And then she like sees her in the hospital at the end and I was like,
That did make me happy.
that's so
Yeah,
sad.
no, from that very little bit of information that we got that, she probably hates me, whatever. I in my mind I gave up all hope and was like, she's not coming, like we're
Yeah.
not gonna see her, whatever. And
Mhm.
she did. And
She
it made
did
me
make
happy.
it, and she looked great.
She
She
sure
looked
do.
fantastic.
She
So
sure do.
you can play that.
Are you looking for Reagan? Are you looking for Reagan? She burns in hell!
Perfect. I love it. I also
burns
need to
in
know. I
hell.
don't think we have it in the cast list, but I need to know who voiced the demon because we're going to like do a little bit more clips later, and there's one that I really like, but I think it's because I like the voice.
Yeah.
but I need to know.
But yeah, getting into the cast. Can I just say, and this cast ate and left no crumbs.
Absolutely, not one crumb. That plate was completely clean.
They licked it clean.
They licked it clean.
You know
Absolutely.
what? They put it in the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
No, they hand washed it, put it in the dishwasher, and then hand washed it again.
They did, and then they put their stuff away because they know.
Because they know.
They got manners.
They do have manners.
I loved it.
We've got Linda Blair as Reagan McNeil, Ellen Burstyn as Chris McNeil.
She is so beautiful.
She is.
Very beautiful woman.
Jennifer Nettles as Miranda, Leslie Odom Jr. as Victor Fielding, Olivia O'Neill as Catherine, Anne Dowd as Anne.
She plays Paula. I don't know why it says Anne, but it's Paula.
Oh, she does play Anne. That's so
Is
funny.
Anne her name? I thought
No, it's Paula.
it's Paula.
Yeah.
Either way, Anne Down is her name.
Yeah. Lydia Jewett as Angela, Raphael Sparge as Pastor, and E.J. Bonilla as Father Maddox. And we've also got, we can't forget her, and I'm so sorry, I hate to do this, I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of your name, beautiful name, Akwi Akpakwasili, who plays Dr. Behib.
Behib. It's accents. It's all our accents are shit when it comes to literally pronouncing anything in any other language. Yes, she also ate.
She did.
Love her. No, I really did like this cast, and I'm going to mention it again, and I will keep mentioning it throughout the episode, but those girls ate. Absolutely they did.
They were creepy.
They were creepy as hell.
You know, I feel like, now that I think about it, I feel like every little, like, 12 to 14-year-old kid can act their ass off for some reason.
I think it's now become more of a popular thing of, like...
Because I just think of the It kids and Stranger Things kids, and I'm like, how?
It's like, look at them now. No, I think Lydia and Olivia did really, really good. I think they also did really good with, like, their chemistry. And again, we don't get a lot of them together.
Which I would have liked. Can I just
yes.
say, I would have liked a little bit more.
But even possessed during the exorcism scene, they did really good. I feel like going off one another and kind of like, I don't know if anything they did was, what is it called?
Fuck, I forgot the word.
What's the word? You know what I mean. Improv.
Thank you.
We don't know if any of the scenes that they have like together are improv, but if they were, like, I wouldn't even tell. Like they did really good. There was this one scene where in the exorcism scene where they're like if they were kind of bending backwards. We're not bending backwards, but they were like
looking up.
Yes, but they were also kind of like
arching their back.
Yeah, they were arching their backs really far, and like they were both doing it. Angela could do it more because I think at that point her dad had let go of her ties and stuff, so she started levitating. And then and Catherine, I'm levitating. And then Catherine was like struggling, but either way, I don't know. I liked it a lot.
Getting into some facts now. I've got 3 for you guys.
Love.
The first one is, at the beginning of the movie, a small sculpted creature can be seen in Angela's room. This is the same creature Reagan drew with wings in the first movie.
I did not catch on to that.
Neither did I. I'm going to have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch it and see what's up. Going back to like these things, something that this movie also did that kind of is a little bit of an Easter egg with like the first one is the very flash of like the demons that we see.
Oh my God, yes. I loved that.
Loved it.
And they did it more in this movie for
sure. They did it a lot more in this movie, but I loved it because we see it a lot whenever they're at the like they go back to the hospital because they're like literally in the middle of being possessed. And then I also love, which I forgot to mention, the scene where Angela has with the nurse and she's like, Sister
oh my God.
Mary.
That was...
Love.
Insane.
Love. Yeah. It was great.
Insane.
It was really good.
If a little kid did that to me.
Oh, if a little kid like that literally dug into my soul, took out my darkest, deepest secret, I'd kill myself. Right then and there. No. I'm not letting her put that against me.
You're right. Because I was going to say, she getting stabbed. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm stabbing myself.
No, because she's the one that has my secret. And then I'm like, well, it's not really going to behoove you to like put out my secret out there if I'm not alive anymore.
True.
So she could eat ass, but that was really scary. That was really good, and I loved that a lot. It was really good.
I forgot about that. It was a really
that
good
was I
scene.
love that. And then
Very good
she
scene.
like she wet the bed, but it was like blood.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because of the abortion.
Of the
Abortion that she had.
abortion.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Yeah.
No, and it was really good. I loved it a lot.
Yeah.
And I love how creepy. I'm telling you, these girls, like, I don't know what they did to have to prepare to this movie, but I'm glad
Maybe
they did.
they were really, truly possessed.
Maybe they did some method acting. They were like, let's go
Yeah.
talk to a Ouija
Yeah.
board, not close it, get possessed, and let's see what happens.
Yep.
I loved it.
My second fact, which I think I did know this one prior to watching this, is Ellen Burstyn had turned down reprising
Mm-hmm.
her role, and was then offered double the salary.
Good for her.
Burstyn thought, and I quote, "I feel like the devil is asking my price." She eventually accepted, using the salary to fund an MFA scholarship for actors at Pace University, which I'm pretty sure that's in New York. Anyway,
I think so.
where the Actor Studio teaches the program. Burstyn is a lifelong member of the Actor Studio and co-president.
Oh my God, good for her.
Yeah.
Shout out.
If I was also loaded like her, I would 100% do that.
Oh, same.
But
I
since
like
I'm
how she
not-
was like, no, you're not
Yeah.
going to put me on screen for that much.
And then they offered double the salary, and they were like, fine, for that, I'll do it.
And she's like,
But I'm
"Great."
going to give it to
yeah, so
Pace
it's,
University.
yeah, so in a way, she's kind of helping with all of these poor actors who don't get paid. No, that's really good. I didn't know that.
In July 2021, this is my last one.
Okay.
In July 2021, 2 sequels were confirmed to be in development with the same creative team of Green, McBride, Sattler, and teams on board. The first of these sequels, The Exorcist Deceiver, will be released in theaters April 18th, 2025. I'm going to be 24. That's insane.
Oh, okay.
After the poor reception of Believer, sources from The Hollywood Reporter claim that there will almost certainly be some degree of creative rethink for the next 2 films, and that Green recently expressed some doubt about his participation.
Good fucking riddance. Okay, now I have a lot to say about this one. So if you don't know who the fuck they're talking about, Mr. David Gordon Green is responsible for demolishing a precious franchise known as Halloween. Okay, so he started off with Halloween that came out in 2018. And it was actually good. It actually even got really good reviews. Like, it was a really good one. People were liking it because they're like, oh my God, they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. And it was really gory. Like, it got really good reviews. And then that man took advantage and just took it all to hell. And then we ended up with Halloween Kills. And now everyone hates Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
And now I fucking hate this franchise. And I don't ever want to claim it ever again. No, I'm kidding.
I have technically 4 recommendations to replace that man.
James Wan,
well,
and
yes.
maybe James Wan.
Okay. So fun fact, the first one is James Wan. The first one is James Wan. Second one is Lee
Patrick Wilson.
Winnell.
Oh, yes.
Lee Winnell.
Yes.
And y'all, don't judge me. I'm blanking on these people's names. Who are the brothers? Are they even brothers?
Who are you talking about? The Duffer Brothers?
There we no, not the brothers.
Like Stranger Things?
No. Something with my tongue. Bro, am I tripping?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or are there some horror directors that are brothers?
Are you talking about the brothers that made Talk to Me? Because they
Nora?
too, I'd
I mean,
probably trust them a
they-
little better than David Green.
Wait, they're not brothers. Jason Blum.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't he have a brother?
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, anyway, who I was talking about was Jason Blum.
Well, and I think I was gonna say, I think what helps is that this is that Blumhouse had something to do with this, but I think they also technically had something to do with the Halloween movies, which
Yeah, I have heard interesting things about
and so and I think
Blumhouse.
and so that's my only hesitation, and that was my first hesitation before even watching this movie, is that when I found out that this man put his hands on this franchise, I said, "Dear Lord, I'm putting out a prayer.
But
I'm
if you
not
think
religious.
about it, Blumhouse is literally OG Insidious. Paranormal Activity.
No, like
The Purge.
Blumhouse makes good movies. Like that's not what I was like. That wasn't a like worry of mine. My worry was the vision that I don't agree with
Honestly,
that David Gordon Green has.
Last recommendation is me.
Oh,
Is me.
okay. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and try the first three
Okay.
first, and then we can maybe shout you out.
Okay.
We'll give you a call if it don't work out.
Okay.
Who's
Who's we?
We as in like the development team that's gonna make part 2 and 3.
Okay.
But don't feel the need to keep your phone by you. Just know we keeping you up here in the thoughts.
Okay.
Mhm,
All right.
yes, ma'am. But anyway, my only hesitation is I hope that with which I don't think is going to matter because nonetheless, Halloween made so much made so much money so that I don't think it would matter. But I really do hope that David Gordon Green does not touch these other 2 movies if it really truly does become a trilogy. Because one thing I do not want is The Exorcist, specifically the demon, to have a That's So Raven moment. Because if I see a demon in a leather jacket on a motorcycle having a That's So Raven moment,
Shut the
I will be suing David Gordon Green for the amount of money that I put into wasting into a ticket to see this movie. Because at this point, I feel like that's all that we need. And I don't want it to go that way. So I'm putting out a petition to kick David Gordon Green off these films. And I think that was also something that was being said a lot in like the reviews everyone was literally like, I'm starting to really not like this guy, or I am starting to really see that he doesn't have the best vision for these horror movies and whatever. Like, I understand that you're a whole director and you've basically made it as a director because you're over here like remaking these franchises that are so beloved. But do me a favor, don't touch him.
Mm-mm.
Keep your slimy hands away.
Don't touch franchises. You can start your own.
Oh yeah. Maybe if you make your own, maybe you'd make it all better off.
Might be good.
Might be better.
But don't
touch
ruin
my shit.
something that has never been
Don't
ruined.
touch my comfort and peace. Because
Right.
when you touch my comfort and peace, that's when I come for you. And
You
I
know
bite.
what's interesting? Rob Zombie, bro. See, he understood
Where
the
he at?
assignment.
Is he dead?
Girl, no, he is not. He
I
is
have not heard from him recently. Where is
well,
he?
I don't know where he is.
Okay, well, I mean,
but-
and isn't he like 70?
and
I'm just saying.
I don't think he's 70. I'm pretty sure he's like in his 50s or 60s.
He age.
Bro,
He age.
I don't know if you're. I
He's
don't know. Are we
58.
talking about the same person?
Yes, Rob Zombie. Yes,
Rob Zombie?
I'm just exaggerating.
Okay.
I know he's still out there doing stuff, but like I haven't heard anything new from him.
No, I'm just saying, like, he did Halloween.
He did do Halloween, and okay. Not everyone liked Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. That's one of the movies that I took my mom to go see. She had some words for me afterwards, but it's okay because I think she liked it at the end of the day. And
Did she?
yeah, because my mom, she liked it because she thought it was very dramatic, which I agree it was. But I liked Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I'm kind of did he make a sequel to that one? Yes, he did, and I didn't like that one as much. I liked the first one that he made. I didn't like the sequel that came about from the Rob Zombie Halloween. But I liked it nonetheless. I would like to see what Rob Zombie would have in mind for an exorcism movie.
Right?
Yeah, because he's gory.
He is gory.
And when that's what I mean. Like he does gore very well, but this is paranormal.
That's true.
So it's like how would you
Yeah.
Rob Zombify this? You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think I would like to see that. Cuz I still think I don't know, man. I think at this point I would take the director to La Virgen de Guadalupe over this man to remake The Exorcist because I like David Gordon Green, count your motherfucking days.
Mm-hmm.
What you did to Halloween, you will not be doing to The Exorcist.
No, ma'am.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that one. So who wants to sign my petition?
I am.
You'll be first.
It's like what is it? Dumbledore's army. I'll be second.
You'll be the second
Yeah,
one
like a
on there.
signature.
Absolutely. And then after that, we can sell our souls. So it's fine.
Yep.
But
One girl lives, one girl dies.
You get to choose.
and that's exactly what happened.
And did.
And period.
And period.
Again, like there were some things that I really liked about this movie, and I really do think that little plot twist that we had at the end was really cool. And it was good. It was good. R.I.P. Catherine. Okay, well, so now since we're at that point of the episode, let's go ahead and do a little. What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
Why would you leave me like that?
Okay, one more time, y'all.
Let's do a little.
Would you rather? Yeah.
Okay, so for this, would you rather? Now, would you rather attend an exorcism knowing the risks of possibly being hurt or killed, or be the possessed one getting exorcised while being what Jessica calls
What
the
your
further?
soul.
your
Your
soul's not
in
being
the
there.
further.
Yeah, so you're there, but you're not
But
really
your body
there.
is the one being exercised.
I feel like I'm being exercised every day. The body and the blood.
Okay. You beat an
I think
exorcism.
I would be. I don't think like if we're speaking realistically.
I mean,
like,
what
if
other
we're-
way?
if we're being for real,
For real?
I don't think I can attend an exorcism.
I was
I'm
gonna
way
say-
too fucking scared. I'm like, that demon ain't touching me. I would all of a sudden become like.
Estamos en casa de Jesus.
Yes, like I would start preaching. I would start possessing myself with the Lord's name.
Funny you say that because I choose you, Catherine.
I choose
you,
Catherine.
I
Fuck off.
choose to attend an exorcism knowing the risks of possibly being hurt/killed.
Well, congratulations. You get to attend my exorcism because I prefer to be exorcised.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In that case, I say, Lord, do whatever you need to do, and I'm out.
And I know that's very risky with saying, right? Yeah, I think I'd rather be exorcised because I feel like it's like being possessed is just another it's just another episode of dissociation, which is what I'm in every day.
And guess what?
So like I'm not even there.
You can disassociate while you're attending an
Oh,
exorcism.
no, I can't.
Actually, no, you can't.
No.
'Cause then you're probably at your most vulnerable, and that's when
So okay,
the
let me
demon
let me
can
tell you
probably
this.
get
So
into
now
you.
if we're talking about attending an exorcism, let's say you're not attending this one. Let's say you're attending the moms from The Conjuring. Would you attend that one? I wouldn't. That bitch was scary.
Hey, y'all forgetting about this one thing called a Glock. Okay? Shit. Like,
Where the
it's
Glock's at?
Texas, y'all. Like, shit.
Where the Glock at?
I'm
That's what's
saying.
missing in every paranormal
And
movie.
we need, put me in the writer's room. We need a movie, a
No, hold on.
paranormal movie.
Huh?
Yeah, I was going to say the scary movie.
Bro. No, because let me tell you, what happened when in that same movie, The Conjuring, who had a shotgun? There was a shotgun. The cop had one. And what happened? The cop died.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. He got slammed up against the wall. I don't know if he died, but
I
he
don't
definitely
think he
got knocked out.
died.
I thought he got knocked out.
Okay, but here's the thing. He was being a little bitch about it.
you got to start immediately.
He hesitated.
Oh, I guess it's
He has, like,
you
he was
enter.
hella hesitating.
You-
I enter.
You enter the exorcism and right to the
see
head.
the fast-
You got to double tap.
I see the fácil. Ain't got to worry about no thing.
Okay, well in this scenario, you don't get a Glock.
Okay, fine.
You get a Bible, holy water, and a
Perfect.
cross.
Because
that right there is your Glock.
I don't think you guys know this about me, but I have a God complex. And
Well, your God complex ain't gonna save you in this one.
no, I'm not saying my God complex is going to save me. What I'm saying is the God complex that I have.
Is gonna save you. Oh wait,
What? No. It's going to make me think that I am going to be able to beat this demon. And as long as I can believe that I'm going to beat the demon, I'll be happy.
are you? What are you talking about? Beat this demon. You're not the one physically. Are you gonna physically fight it in the ring? My money's on the demon.
My money
You-
is also probably
I'm
on the
gonna
demon.
put you physically in the ring.
Hey, but if the demon is fine as hell,
Oh my god.
Y'all gonna have to.
Wait, okay. No, something that I asked before we even filmed. Did you see the demon? Like, what it looked like in the? Did y'all see it in during the possession? Because I could have sworn that I could see the demon. Going back to our would you rather. Sorry, sidetracked. Yeah, I'd rather be exorcised.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? I'll be the one exorcising you because I choose to attend an exorcism.
My demons got hands,
All right.
and I got multiple.
Okay.
So it's like as soon as you thought you got rid of one, here comes another.
And guess what?
We gonna fight each
Guess
one that
what
comes.
I said?
If I end up surviving this exorcism, and I see you, I'd rather be possessed.
All right then.
I'd rather my
Hey,
demons
all I'm saying
enter
is hide your
back
kids
in.
and hide your wife if the demon is hot. Because she's already a goddess.
I guess that's true.
So,
It's a hot one.
but apparently, the one that I looked up, it's like a werewolf face with a pregnant woman's body wearing with wings. Is that what you saw?
No.
Okay, well, apparently that's the demon that is
Okay,
from
so don't get mad at me. I think the demon that I'm thinking of is the demon that's in the HHN maze. It's in the HHN
Bitch.
maze. But it's in the Exorcist, believe
La
me.
La lechuza?
No.
La Llorona?
No. Like, so the Exorcist believer is a maze at HHN. But my thing is, I think I got a sneak peek of that, and I saw what the demon looked like in that, and I thought that was in the actual movie. But I don't think it is. I'm trying to find it. Oh, like this. You're doing the exorcising, and I'm being exorcised.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take it.
All right.
For once, we have different answers.
I mean, sometimes I feel like we have some pretty different answers. Anyway, moving along, let's go ahead and rate this movie before
Yes.
ending the episode.
Okay.
Now, this is a horror movie, so we will have our two scales of satisfactory and scary.
Okay.
Just because a horror movie is good does not always mean that it is scary, and vice versa.
Mhm.
So, Monica,
Vice versa.
what do you rate this movie?
Thank you so much for asking.
Of course.
So scary. I didn't think it was that scary. Now, this is also another reason why. For my people who don't like horror movies, you will not like this movie. I think you will be shitting your pants
Yes,
watching this movie.
I agree.
But for us who are a little more seasoned with horror and kind of have seen more things, this wasn't that scary. Oh, what I was going to say, my point to that, sorry, was I can't get scared of things that I get so excited about, if that makes sense. So I was really excited about this movie and seeing the actual girls and the possession and everything. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I didn't think it was that scary, but I am giving it credit on where it's due, even though hello?
I burped in my mouth.
Okay.
I'm sorry if y'all heard that.
Moving on. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 because even though we got the really good scenes in the trailer, I still think that there were good scenes overall, and that includes the scenes of the girls in their makeup, and I don't know. I just really liked it overall, but I personally wasn't that scared, but I'm giving it credit. Satisfactory. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I really like this movie. This is a movie I would go out of my way to buy and own on my own, and I would show people this movie. And I would definitely watch it again in theaters if I had to, which I kind of might. And I might go with people who haven't seen it because it's a lot of fun. It's a really good movie. And yeah, and I'm just knocking it 2 points because of the things that I did not like. But I think overall it's a really good movie. I think Rotten Tomatoes and the people who are reviewing this movie overall are getting it very wrong. So, but that's just me though.
Understood.
What about you?
Scary, 5 out of 10. Like you mentioned, the only things that scared me, where I felt genuine fear, were just the jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
And in other movies where I rate a little bit higher, it's the what's it called? It's the environment, which, again, don't get me wrong, the exorcism scene was absolutely terrifying, but I didn't feel that fear that I usually do with other movies. Yeah, it wasn't, like you said, for maybe a more seasoned horror freak, I don't think it's not that bad.
No, it's not.
But again, like you said,
Even the exorcism scene wasn't that bad. And I feel like that's where people think it fell really flat. I don't think the exorcism scene was that scary. I think the only thing that was scary about it was the girls.
Right.
Like in their makeup and the way that they look, and the way that they were acting, like, was really scary. But I think the scene overall, there wasn't anything too crazy about it, other than when, like, Angela let out the actual demon and then it was just all, like, black, which I kind of like the way that looked. Like, I think I would like that as a home decor.
okay.
Like a stream of black and then, like, a body hanging from it, like if she was spitting out the demon. It was pretty
right.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah. Overall, it was okay.
Okay.
Scary. Satisfactory, 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I didn't hate this movie.
It's not a bad one.
I did not hate this movie. I enjoyed the movie. Is it my favorite all-time movie of the world? No, personally. I do want to watch it again. I feel like I missed some things. And listen, it's funny that we kind of, in a way, kind of think differently on this topic, but I mean, not really, but I do feel personally that this movie turned out very Christian, which I have nothing against. But it just to me felt a little bit more like a Christian movie than or a religious movie.
Yeah.
Than a horror movie to me.
No, I agree. I think, like, it was a little too heavy.
And again, people say that about every paranormal movie because religion is typically always involved in any paranormal movie.
Yeah. It's like I came to watch this movie to get spooked. Not to hear the word of God.
Not to revert back to
back to
Catholicism,
my religious trauma. No,
Right.
thank you. I'm not trying to go back.
But yeah,
I agree.
Again, nothing too crazy. I didn't hate the movie. It's really I mean, if you know me, you know it's a little bit hard for me to hate movies. Scary, it wasn't. It had its jump scares where I was like, shit. But yeah, overall,
Love.
nothing too crazy.
God played that trick on you.
I need to know who that was. I love the way it sounds. It's really good.
Who's better, him or what's that like?
Oh my God. No, thank you. There's just something about
Like the taste of butter.
I can hear
Every syllable.
every breath, I can hear every atom on his tongue. And here's the thing, I like ASMR things. Like I
love ASMR.
I eat up ASMR. I could fall asleep to that shit. But this right here, it's
like the audio quality is what's more than like HD.
It is way beyond.
Huh?
It's
UHD?
beyond that. It's beyond whatever the highest audio quality that you can get. I think I would have hated watching this in theater.
You know what? It's like he is saying it inside of my ear.
Yes, and I hate it.
It's not that he's outside. Like it's not
like
that
where you can hear it in like headphones.
It's not
and you're
that
like,
he's
oh my
saying
God.
it to my ears.
I can
he
feel
is
it
inside.
I can feel
of
it
me.
in my ear canal,
Right.
and it's
Right.
pretty gross. Like I
Right.
feel like he's in there, like, and I don't like that. I think well, if their goal was to make me feel unsettled, consider me unsettled. I'm not settled. I'm far from it, and it's very disturbing. I hate it. But anyway. Well, I think this concludes this episode of The Exorcist Believer. It looks like we are pretty much at the end of this episode, and as always, we had a blast recording. If today's episode intrigued you and you would like to watch this movie because you haven't, you can watch it in, say it with me,
theaters.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
In
I had already
theaters.
said it.
Okay.
But thank you again. And of course, to everyone who is tuning in and listening, we truly appreciate you. And if you want to keep up with us, we will have all of our social media in the summary description.
Yes, and again, I know we say this in every episode, and at this point, honestly, we should probably just record a bit and just like play it on here.
Yeah.
But again, we do sincerely appreciate all of you for listening to us and for supporting us, and for DMing us.
Yeah.
We feel really cool whenever you guys DM us.
Yeah, it feels really nice to for you to guys
Talk
let
to
us
you
know
guys,
what your
yeah.
guys' like thoughts was and everything, and what you guys think about movies that we've reviewed or if we haven't reviewed and you guys want to listen to our thoughts. It feels nice. But yeah, so with that being said, if you liked today's episode, then please tune into next week's episode where we talk about your favorite movie. So we are going to have a listener's choice. So we will put a poll up on Instagram with 3 different choices. We won't say which ones just yet. And then you guys get to choose what we get to watch and review for next week. And I'm really excited to see what you guys choose. We're going to try and theme it with like autumn Halloween type vibe. And yeah, so this episode will be airing either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and I think we'll maybe post it like Saturday, maybe. But before we end this episode, Jessica, I want to ask you: do you think that this week's movie was a movie? I think
this movie was a movie.
I see dead people.
Okay.
Okay. No, well, I do not want the taste of butter.
Wouldst thou like a pretty dress or whatever the fuck he said?
I forget what he says. Something about wanting the precious things in
Yeah.
life, which I do.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
this week's movie was a
this week's
movie?
movie was a movie,
I thought it was a movie.
and not a movie. I thought this movie was a movie, which, contrary to what I just said, literally a couple minutes ago, like again, I have no beef with this movie. I have opinions, but I have no beef. Like,
Yeah.
it
I think
didn't
that's the thing.
offend me.
Yeah.
In any way. I liked it. It was a movie. It was.
I liked it too. Honestly, talking about the movie got me excited about it. And I think that like sitting with the movie a little bit longer than just like 24 hours, I think helped. And I really liked it. And I like it a lot. And I actually would be willing to watch this again in theaters. And if that's the case,
Let's do it.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Let's
It's going to Tuesday.
cute.
But anyway, well, that's good. I'm glad to know.
Yeah.
Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys again. We will talk to you guys next week. And as always, we've been your host, Monica.
And Jess.
Stay safe.
And
Stay
stay spooky.
The body and the blood. The body and the blood. The body and the blood. Catherine. The body and the blood. The body and the blood.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.